Watching live aren't that many, but what I see is afterwards, lots of people tune in, especially people who missed it.
Okay.
Secondly, it is a good record of our poetry.
Yeah,
so
sure, definitely.
You ought to go back and.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we are live. Watching live on that. Okay, I think we are live. Excellent. So with that, welcome to another session of DPC online virtual program. And for starting, we have a new person joining us, Rajiv Sapra. Rajiv Sapra, I met him socially, and he does poetry. He also does very interesting stuff. Rajiv, if you and put on your camera and introduce yourself quickly.
मैं तो कोई 5 मिनट में कॉल कर लूं.
Okay, he's.
Yes. I am just switching on the light. I'm a power man, so I conserve a light quite a lot.
Quick 2 words from you, Rajiv, on who you are and what you like to do.
I'm Rajiv Sapra, and I was Additional Chief Engineer, Power Department, Government of Delhi. But I had been writing. This is the introduction from the brain, but my heart is with the poetry. I had been writing since 1980, 79, 80, something like that. But I had written many poems, and that too, for my first love, when I was in.
Yeah, that's we know about that one.
For my first love, when I was in 11th standard.
Yes, that's when it starts. Love poetry, that's when it starts. Yeah.
So basically, and in case you allow me to speak a couple of lines more, this Umar Khayyam, there is another Umar Khayyam who has the Sufi, who had written many couplets. His poetry was to be tried by Fitzgerald to be copied, to be translated in English. But Fitzgerald was a mathematician. So I also equate in the same way that I'm an engineer and trying to write now again the poetry, and that's why that poetry doesn't go with that kind of a real metaphors which we normally enjoy with the real literary laureates.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Rajiv. We'll be happy to hear your poetry, and that's one of the rules of our meet. Everybody gets a chance, whether you want to recite or not. That's another matter. But that's we are a group of poetry lovers, really. So welcome to the group. And
thanks a lot. Thank you.
And I'll just quickly introduce the rest of the people. Omkar Kedia is in Assam. They're all the usual suspects, older people. Omkar Kedia. Rajiv, I think you can turn off your camera. It's pointing towards the ceiling, yeah? Or you can refocus it. He's an old member of Omkar. He is of a club. He's retired and is now settled in Assam. Julian is from Malaysia. He's a poet. He was a journalist in his early life, but he's a poet now, and his poetry has appeared in many international journals. And there is one I read recently on Facebook, post by him, and I loved it. In fact, if he had not come, Julian, I had a full mind to recite that particular poem. Gunika is a teacher, and she resides in Noida, and she does poetry. She writes excellent poetry, an old member of our club. And then similarly, Jasbir, who I call the fastest poet in the world. You give her a topic, and 2 minutes later, 100-line poetry will be coming out. She'll be reciting one. She'll be writing and reciting. Sometimes she writes and recites almost simultaneously.
Come on, it's not that.
And I see Vinod Mahindra coming up. Okay, I'm really happy he's out here. He's one of our oldest member. I knew him many years ago, and lately he has not been in the circuit. So I'm quite happy to. Vinod, welcome to the poetry. We are delighted to see you here, Vinod. Uh, Vinod, you're on mute. Yeah, Vinod, you're saying something? We can't hear you. Maybe you need to get your setup rebooted. Okay, We'll wait for Vinod's mic to start acting up. To start acting on. With that, it's my pleasure to kick off today's evening. And the usual format is to go around the table. The table is my screen. So the host, whoever the host is, today I'm the host. So we'll go around the table. Then the usual rules hold. Please switch off. Please mute your mic when you're not speaking, but feel free to put in the comments. And when the recitation finishes, do unmute and join us. Hello, Vinod. We can see you, Vinod, now. So I don't know whether say something, Vinod, or maybe he can't hear us. So with that, we'll wait for Vinod to come online. Okay, the first person on my screen is the person who logged in the earliest, which was Onkar. Onkarji, are you okay to go first with a few lines?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Yes, I can.
let's go.
I think topic today was noise, no?
Topic today was noise. That's right.
Okay. So as you know, normally I write in Hindi and I don't write ghazals. But today I have written a ghazal and each of the couplets has the word shore in it. So noise I have translated as shore. बहुत शोर है मेरे अंदर पर कुछ सुनता ही नहीं बहुत शोर है मेरे अंदर पर कुछ सुनता ही नहीं मुझे तो शक है कहीं मैं बहरा तो नहीं बहुत शोर है मेरे अंदर पर कुछ सुनता ही नहीं मुझे तो शक है कहीं मैं बहरा तो नहीं बहुत सहा है उसने पर कहता कुछ नहीं बहुत सहा है उसने पर कहता कुछ नहीं के अंदर दबा शोर कहीं गहरा तो नहीं बहुत सहा है उसने पर कहता कुछ नहीं उसके अंदर दबा शोर कहीं गहरा तो नहीं बह रहा है पानी तो शोर क्यों नहीं है बह रहा है पानी तो शोर क्यों नहीं है at this stage I'll tell you there is a word Sahara in this couplet. Sahara means desert. बह रहा है पानी तो शोर क्यों नहीं है नदी जिसे समझा था सहरा तो नहीं बह रहा है पानी तो शोर क्यों नहीं है नदी जिसे समझा था सहरा तो नहीं जो शोर कर रहा था अब चुपचाप क्यों है जो शोर कर रहा था अब चुपचाप क्यों है उससे पूछो उसका जमीर कहीं ठहरा तो नहीं जो शोर कर रहा था अब चुपचाप क्यों है उससे पूछो उसका जमीर कहीं ठहरा तो नहीं अगर बच्चा है वह तो खामोश क्यों है अगर बच्चा है वह तो खामोश क्यों है उसके शोर पर किसी का पहरा तो नहीं So that is it. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. I was thinking that you will come up with some brilliant couplets on this one, Onkar. It was right up your street, and I think you have not disappointed me. You have got it on the spot. Vinodji, namaste. Can you hear us now? I'm saying we couldn't hear you, so but
You hear now?
yeah, we can hear you now. So welcome. Long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are very happy to see you again.
Break the
Yeah, yes, Omkarji, I think you have lived up to my expectation. I was thinking this is exactly made for you. I remember when we had a topic of ice cream, and Nija, my wife, was telling me, "क्या topic? बच्चों वाला topic लगा दिया है तुमने." And Omkar totally blew us away with his couplets on ice cream.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, Omkarji. Chalo, let's go on. Julian, you up next. Are you okay to go next?
I might be interrupted by fireworks, if you don't mind.
That's okay. We will.
It's going to be really loud. I've reduced the background noise, but it's like happening every hour. Let me share. Can I share screen?
Yeah, sure, of course.
So I don't have anything on topic. I can't share screen.
Okay, hang on. I think I have to give you permission to share. And how do I do that? Just a
I think if
second.
you hit security and allow multiple participants to share screen.
Security, yes, security and share screen. Allow all participants to share screen. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Try this now. Yep, you can.
So sorry, I'm not on topic. I couldn't find anything on noise. So this is called Map to Your Heart. It's like personification of the folded maps that we all have in our cars usually. It's been a while since you used me. You relied on me whenever you got lost, needed directions, was scrambling or late. Now I sit in this cold cavern, this gloveless glove compartment, loveless as the half-used box of 3-ply masks. Your map of old that you abandoned for the mobile apps of new. I even missed the way you got so mad trying to fold me back this way and that, and never got it right. I have all the creases to show for it. It was more a trauma for you than a trauma for me. I never once complained. I knew where to draw the line. It didn't matter how you faulted me, only that I was useful. A 2D representation of your 3D world. One dimension less, but many more colorful facets, solid lines, curved contours, and straight up and up grids. My borders and boundaries clearly demarcated. I never talked back, never told you you have arrived when you hadn't, or castigated you to take U-turns you didn't want to, or said, recalculating in such a condescending way. I never tracked your comings and goings. It was always just between you and me. I was discreet and private that way. What lies on the map stays on the map. Last time you pulled me out was when you lost internet connection and your battery was weak. You pulled over and found me, and I was so thrilled to be touched again, fondled by your warm hands like an old friend. You read me easily, just like remembering to ride a bicycle or tie a shoelace, and I got you to your destination on time. I was happy to be of service finally. You didn't fold me right though, again, but I didn't mind. To think you were so good at origami once. Kids are natural folders. Adults can't seem to shape the unfolding of their lives very well. It's an animal they wrestle with every day of their crumpled, creased lives, never being able to tell the mountain from the valley folds, forgetting that no matter where you go, wherever you end up, or even when you think you really have arrived, you'll always still need a guide, a chart, something tangible, someone you can hold on to like a reliable map to point you in the right direction and show you the way. Thank you.
Good.
Brilliant.
Very nice.
Yes.
I like it.
Very nice.
Amazing, Julian. That was really, really wonderful.
That was brilliant, Julian. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it, map and life. so
And the visuals were so dot on.
yes. Wonderfully presented. Absolutely. That was great, Julian. Much enjoyed it as usual. Okay, good. Let's move on. Who's next? Rajiv Sapra. Are you okay to go next?
Yes, sir, very much. But this is for the first time I'm joining, so you'll have to excuse me. It may not be absolutely in sync with your topic. But anyway,
Yeah, we don't mind. We just love poetry. So.
so, before I start, when I was traveling, somebody asked me about the languages. So I told him that I'll speak in Hindi, then I'll translate. I said to him, because he was a professor of IIT Kanpur, he asked me what is the relevance of languages. So I said, Sanskrit Deviya Bhasha. Sanskrit is a divine language. English is purely a commercial language. I'm sorry, my house is absolutely on the main road. उर्दू जो है वो आशिकों की भाषा है, जाम और आशिकों की भाषा. And Hindi is a mixture of all. I hope everybody has understood, but I'll try to translate. Sanskrit is divine language, English is commercial language, and Urdu is purely a language of lovers, poets, and
Romantic. It is a romantic.
and Hindi is a mixture of all. So I'll start with only 2 couplets which I had written in Hindi mixed Urdu, because English will be too formal to start with. मैंने लिखा, अफसोस है कि शामिल हैं शैतानी दौड़ में हम भी पागलों की तरह. अफसोस है कि शामिल हैं शैतानी दौड़ में हम भी पागलों की तरह. क्या करें इस बदनसीब शहर का मिजाज ही ऐसा. But Rajiv ji is breaking the lull by collecting all the people who are just willing to come out from this kind of a mad rat race and monotony of the life, and to at least connect with the heart for maybe for a few minutes, an hour or so maximum, thanks to him. So should I translate in the English, or everybody has understood?
So Julian is the only non-Hindi speaker out here.
Yeah, translation will be good.
A translation would be okay. Yeah, that's a request from this people.
Yeah. So it says, अफसोस है कि शामिल हैं शैतानी दौड़ में. It's an irony, sarcastic irony that we all are in the mad rat race. सोच है कि शामिल हैं शैतानी दौड़ में, पागलों की तरह, just like mad. We are in the mad rat race without any rhyme or reason. But what to do? Unfortunately, we are in this kind of a city. So more or less like that. But I mean, one has to. The real essence can be only understood in the parental language. But I have tried my level best to make you understand. As Rajiv ji rightly said, and the day when I had met him, he said that he wants to include a one from Punjabi poetry. I remember when Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan was performing in UK, the same thing happened. An English guy came that he said that he doesn't understand Urdu or Punjabi. So he said that in case you want to understand the real Sufi lyrics, it's better that you should try to learn it. But I'm not pushing her to learn it. But the real taste can be felt only when one is acquainted with that kind of a language.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. We know the difficulties of lost in translation, especially in poetry.
yeah, because all the languages have their own vocabulary, and the vocabulary is not precisely the same meaning which is there in the other language.
That's right. That's right.
So it is not the mirror image of a particular word in that particular language. That's the unfortunately shortcoming of all the languages.
Sure.
And the second couplet I had written. Second couplet was. I'm just forgetting it. I'll just remember it, then I'll.
Okay.
Then I'll let you.
Why don't we come back to you, Rajiv? That's all right.
Okay.
We'll come back to you. We usually go around the table. Hey,
Okay.
Sarah, you look who's here.
Hello. Hi.
Hello, hello. Lovely to see
Happy
you.
Diwali
Yes.
in advance.
Are you in Delhi or in Dehradun?
No,
Sarah?
Dehradun. Yeah.
Acha, okay, that's lovely weather to be there. And, I missed you this time. मैं देहरादून गया था, but Sarai was not in Dehradun at that time. But let's see, one of these days
Yes, yes.
it will coincide. Okay, moving on. I think I got Jasbir next on my table. Jasbir, do you have something? I mean, that's a moot question, really. You always have something. So over to you, Jasbir. Something interesting for us.
Well, the noise, the Diwali, the noise, etc., the car booms, the patakas,
Yeah.
and the noise pollution. Yes. So here I go, but more than anything else, there was something on the WhatsApp which showed a photo came in which they showed that, and they're showing the war going on, and they talk about pollution, telling us don't use crackers. I mean, look at that. Like, isn't it ironical? So, and then war comes to my mind. Actually, I feel so helpless as to how to make people understand. But then if you see it on each our own level, we feel that the anger, we also, for small little things, we get angry with our own people and things like that. So it's more, I don't know if I just wrote it, I scribbled a few lines and I'm just going to read it. Noise. The noise of the ego is deafening. Mankind is all about I, me, and mine. That manifests itself in squabbles, hate crime, blown out of proportions. The anger tears into a horrendous war. In the rat-a-tat of the guns, in the booming of the fighter jets, in the dreadful sound of the drones, in the kaboom of the bombs, in this massive din, the shrieks of the kith and kin, the shouts of the rank and file are drowned. No one hears their cries, no one cares. The war must go on to make a wrong right. The motto is clear and bright. We are fighting for the right. Let's sacrifice all living beings today's, that is, when I say living beings, is the civilians and the defense personnel, for a quagmire of hateful tomorrows of the generations to come. The festering wounds never heal. The normative seems so glorious. We wax hoarse talking about peace, love, brotherhood of man. Mountains of philosophy swirl around us. The holy scriptures by all the wise men is for worship and to revere, but not for following practically. It's all advice, pedagogy, all to a knot, is where the noise of ego sticks like a leech, sucking our sanity forever. Thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Thanks.
Very true also, Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, we can't do anything about it. Like, I mean, sometimes I feel like all I see is CNN telling, I mean, the Hamas war, the Israel, and then it started with Ukraine and Russia, and there's no end to it. And then our own strife at home. I mean, it's too much. Like, I don't know. I sometimes feel that I wish
Too much
that,
unrest, to digest. I mean,
Mm.
everyone needs their peace.
I wish that somebody comes down, and says, come on, I'm going to take out that element of पांच तत्व whatever होता है ना, काम क्रोध लोभ मोह, क्रोध को मैं निकाल देता हूँ, or something like that. There should be a wand saying कि ये मैं निकाल. So thank you.
Thank you, Jasmeer. I think, yeah, I was actually waiting for that too. Somebody to resound noise with the battles happening around the world. So that was wonderful, Jasmeer. Thank you.
And this came to my mind also because today's what is it they call the Veterans Day or the Remembrance Day out here. So
In US is the Veterans Day Friday. Friday was the Veterans Day in US. I don't know about
today in Canada is the Remembrance Day,
India.
November 11th.
Okay, so in Canada itself.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Jasmeer. Thank you for your poetry. Lovely as usual. And with that, I want to move on to the next person, and that's Gunika. Gunika, you're next on my screen.
Okay, so I've written something on noise. It goes like, oh, how you feed off me with sugar-coated words of apologies, making rush noises in my head, guiding me to dangerous paths of forgiveness. Like a serpent, you hiss and strike when someone steps on your tail, not pampering your conceited wishes, drawing blood off the goodness of my intentions. You make me sink in despair of my own vulnerability. Don't leave your body with another and mine with me, even though I forgive your same mistakes again and again. A light enters me through the holes you pierced in my heart. I don't forget all the noise I've heard so far. My lessons are mine to keep.
Ah.
Very nice.
I think that is good, yeah.
A little different,
A little different.
generally
Yes,
from
yes.
what I write. It's more harsher somehow.
Ah, right. It's a small poem, but I think it is hard hitting.
It has
Yes.
starting with very good lyrical quality. It
That's right.
yes, sounded very lyrical.
Yeah. Anyway, that's lovely, Gunika. As usual, we might have time for a second round, so hang on, folks. We'll probably go again. Vinodji, you are next on my. Do you have anything for us today?
It might not be vertical. There is something on noise. I am associated with noise since 1970. It used to be a subject in college,
Yes.
and you remember it was a training sessions in Bechtel on noise. I was today thinking back on what this noise was. Why was it so important? Who cares about it? So I think for industry it is important. Now, our fan inside the home is noisy, but we tolerate it. And the other part is that the noise of the silence, that's another plane itself. You can't live without noise. Some people feel very out of place. They can't, people who can't just stay alone, solitude, for them, silence is too killing. And we can't measure silence, whereas we can measure noise. And the noise interrupts, it disturbs, and sometimes it is intolerable. But then when I look back at the initial period when the children were too young, during the day their unrecognizable sounds, which theoretically would be termed noise, were never classified as noise. And it was always soothing. So what we call noise is something which is personal to everyone. When a child who cannot speak the normal language or has some trouble in speaking, their parents won't call what he says is noise. For the world it is a noise. So the aspects of noise differ. The noise level in a war, the noise level in a silent zone, both have different meanings. And that is, noise becomes significant because of the nuisance it creates in most of the people. But the absence of noise can be a nuisance for many. The noise which is created by the animal world may be noise for some, but once you get used to those noises, the noises, so-called noises, and I'll call them sounds, created by the birds in the morning when the day starts, are very soothing. The sound produced by running water actually comes under the relaxation aspect. I think there is something which we have to understand and classify the sounds not as noise or soothing. And that's what creates the conflict. We have a habit of naming everything. So we start naming everything. The point is the God, the so-called, which is neither a physical entity, which is neither we can see it, but we try to hear it. We say, hear to him, he will advise you. And how many of us are capable of even receiving his advice? Because we have bucketed up our total sense thinking, and everything now is a noise for us. That's the bit I wanted to share. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Nice. Nice.
Nice. Different dimensions of noise.
Yeah.
Especially noise of silence.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. If Cyrus was here, we would request him to sing the song Sound of Silence from Silent and Garfunkel. We would have requested that song. But yes, that's a wonderful observation. It struck me also. You know, the noise of silence can, as they say, sometimes speak louder than anything else. Hi, Kiran.
Hello, sir. How
Hi.
are you? Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali. Is it the second time you're joining us or the first time? I think I've seen you before.
No, I've joined before.
That's what I thought. I thought I had seen you before. Anyway, you can dig up a poem you want to share with us in the meantime while we are still going around the table, or even if you don't want to, that's all right. You can just listen. Okay, thank you, Vinod. Thanks a lot. Again, it's a pleasure to see you. And then touch wood, you're looking as good as ever and as handsome as ever. Thank you.
Yes. I'm getting back.
Yes. Okay. Let's go. Let's go around the table. Sarayu.
Yeah, I've written something.
Yes.
Yes. And after I think a year of writer's block, like I could not write. I don't know what I was writing. I was writing crap. I'm not into romantic poetry at all.
Yes, we know that.
So my spirit was not coming, So these days I feel like I've started feeling like writing again. So
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Go for it.
Noise. They say sleep is the best medicine. But when the whole world sleeps, your mind ticks with the wall clock. Stillness all around, not a pin drop sound. You're inside, a restless storm. The voices in your head, the noises in your head, a symphonic cacophony. And when the world wakes up, you are numb, awake, but no sense you make of the sounds around. Cause you're drowned in your inner composition, taking a dig at your own disposition, every day in every way, the same sounds again and again, the constant hammering, the limitless murmuring, the never ending loop, the noises getting noisier, nauseating your existence, shaking the very foundation of your faith. Like death. I still remember what you said when I was 10. Thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah, that is.
Very nice, very nice.
That last line was quite a surprise. You need to figure out. Sometimes you have to read poetry to get its full implication. You just quickly do that. Okay, that's great, Sarayu. Wonderful
I was
to.
trying to, take this was my take on mental health.
Yeah.
And the sounds inside your head, you know, and how a person's words can have an impact. It can be a one-time incident, but you can be tormented for a lifetime. So,
I kind of agree with that. There are some incidents. I mean, there's a baggage we go through our lives,
yeah.
and I don't think it ever leaves us. You can do something with it, but I don't think it ever
Yeah.
leaves. I don't know. So thanks, Arayu. Think of another one when we do the second rounds.
Yeah.
But in the meanwhile, let me carry on and grab Kirat. Kirat, have you got anything for us today?
No, sir. Actually, I just came to support her.
Okay.
Sarayu.
Sarayu, you're saying something?
No. I texted him. It was a last minute thing.
Okay.
And next time I will tell him the theme. At least he can bring a poem or something if he wants to join.
Well, that's all right. We are happy with anybody because, as I said, we are a group of poetry lovers. Not all of us are poets. So, with that, it's my turn, and let me introduce this book. It's called My Shameless Heart. Love Lyrics by Amaru Shankar Shatakam is a 9th century Sanskrit poet. I had posted one of his poems, and this is the love lyrics of Amaru. So, like Rajiv Sapra and all of us had said, that the first instinct always is to write love poetry, and then we move on from there. So I've seen in this group people evolve. Started with love poems, roses are red, violets are blue, kind of thing, and then move on to really serious stuff. So, but this guy is I was quite impressed by him, is because he did he has read out some very interesting. I mean, he has written some very interesting stuff which can be relevant even today. So a person writing in the 9th century, 800 something, is relevant in the 21st century, that is something. Okay, so let's go. I'd like to read out the first how the book starts, and like in the Indian culture, it starts with a benediction. The original poems are in Sanskrit, of course. While the bee hovers greedily near the blossom cluster on her ear, may the glance of Ambika and the glow on her fingernails, as her hand the bowstring draws, in the manner of an archer, may all this protect you. And I found it really beautiful. Sometimes you need protection against a lover. So, and the benediction continues. May the flames of Shambhu's arrows burn away your sins entire, like a new lover's misdeed, when forcefully grasping the skirt of a maiden from the triple city, he holds her hair while bowing down, that with her tear-filled lotus eyes, she does not notice in agitation while rejecting his embrace. So the words are floating all over the place, but you get the sense of it. It continues. May the face of a slender girl, hair disheveled, earrings trembling, her tilaka mark almost removed by the mist of perspiration, and eyes languid after sex with her partner, may that face always protect you. What can be done by Hari, Hara, Sikanda, and the other gods? So that's, this is Sanskrit written in the 8th century. So people have become more careful now with poetry, but here we are.
But it has a very medieval feel to it, the way it's been written. It's got that old kind of a feel.
That's right. You can't escape.
Translated.
Yeah,
correct.
You can't escape. I mean, Aaron never got the connotation of Hari and Hara and Sikanda and the other gods. So there are gods in that period who
mythological symbols.
One last one I had posted this too. Let me see if I can get it, but then we can. Or did I? I think I posted it. So let me just read it out from there. And this one was also I quite liked it. Somehow in a play of pique, I told him to get out, and he hard-hearted just left the bed and walked away abruptly. His ardent feelings seem at an end, and my shameless heart still yearns for that callous spoiler of our love. Oh, good friend, what should I do? So a lover's quarrel.
This is very nice. Very nice.
I quite like the. I mean, there are many other poems on the same kind of theme.
Repeat it once.
Yeah, sure.
Very nice.
Somehow, in a play of pique, I mean, just because he got angry, I told him to get out, and he, hard-hearted, just left the bed and walked away abruptly. His ardent feelings seemed at an end, but my shameless heart still yearns for that callous spoiler of our love. Oh, good friend, what shall I do?
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's kind of it grabs the lover's quarrel very well. And then lots of poems are very bold, which is nowadays when I see a bold poem, especially by young women writers, you are not as shocked as you would once be. But to read a poem of the 8th century, you would think, no, they are very conservative, but hey, I think they were as modern as we were, So
Even a lot of mythological like poems from mythological context are also very bold.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, we have changed the sensibilities based on what we have inherited from the Mughal era and the English era.
Absolutely.
So that is something we should calibrate ourselves. Is maybe a calibration is needed to be more without getting shocked. So that's nice. Okay, I think we have come to a full round. And then let's start the second round. I hope people have got a little bit in your back pocket. So we can pull out something more interesting on or off the topic. But let me then take the second round away by asking Rajiv Sapra to finish his unfinished recitation.
Yeah. First of all, when the instinct was there to write something for my lover, then I studied Sanskrit. And in Sanskrit, I realized that the most important Kavya Shastra of Kalidasa, Meghdutah, Megdutam, Ma ke बाद हलंत. Megdutam was a very important one. Since you have started with Sanskrit, I would like to just add two more couplets. In Megdutam, Kalidas says, the theme of the Megdutam is that the Megdut mean make the clouds. The clouds are taking the message to his lover. So that is the theme of Meghdut, and it is the most important Kavya Shastra of Sanskrit, I would say, which is, and there are many PhD and theses on that particular Kavya Shastra. But anyway, the second Hindi couplet I could write, or some Urdu you may call it, Asal na mile to vahmi sahi. Asal na mile to vahmi sahi. रोज एक नए शगुफे के लिए मिर्च ना मिले मसाला ना मिले तब भी हवा को हवा देते रहते हैं आप. ये मेरे बहुत सारे मीडिया के फ्रेंड्स हैं, क्योंकि मेरे को I had a very strong desire to write, and I had been writing since long, so that's why I came in connection with many media friends who were writers, not the one with the social media. So for them, when I was sitting in a Chelmsford club, then I used to recite for them that asal na mile to वहमी सही, रोज एक नए शगुफे के लिए मिर्च ना मिले मसाला ना मिले तब भी हवा को हवा देते रहते हैं आप. It means when you don't get the real story, you try to make a story out of a story. You crack story out of a story, and even that the story is not formed, you try to blow it with the air, so that some kind of a fire is being there. Whether it is real or unreal, that's besides the meaning. But that kind of a theme was there in this particular couplet. And my poems, which I recited when I was sitting with Rajiv ji around a couple of weeks ago, those are too immature. I will have to edit them to recite over here in this platform, because I am feeling a little embarrassing. I wrote somewhere in 1980-81 for my lover, and I'll be requiring some kind of a time to edit them so that I can recite it. But nevertheless, the one I started with Rajiv ji when he poked me to come to this particular forum, I'll just read a couple of lines and then I'll say bye to this particular session from my side. It was Spanish eyes. Spanish eyes are regarded as most beautiful eyes of the world. My poem name is Spanish Eyes. I've written, your Spanish eyes seeing them, my heart flies at a good pace, but I cannot face the beautiful face of you. These are 4 lines. And since my wife had thrown that particular, my book, which is named that Serenade, somewhere, and although I know where it is, so I'll take it out and edit it. And next time I promise that I'll come up with a couple of more beautiful poems in a proper way so that I can recite over here. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rajesh Sapra. We hope to listen to more poetry of yours. And just as an observation, the people, I mean, this group is, I think, now 5 years old. And I remember we started, a lot of us, we started off with poetry, which was what we had. And then we have evolved. A lot of people on this forum have evolved as poets. So as I said, all of us start off with love poetry and then evolve into something more exciting. Love poetry is always exciting. That's always there. So yeah, but then there's shades of love poetry also. so I mean, if you listen to Pablo Neruda, wow. Okay, great. So let me then circle around to Omkarji. Omkarji, let's. I mean, I have not heard love poetry from you, Omkarji.
Now I'll recite a few very small ones.
Yes.
Actually, whatever the theme, I always like to write love poetry.
Yes.
So on noise also, just 2 lines, 3 lines, very small poems. The first is 3 I'll recite. The first is, वैसे तो उसे शांति पसंद है, वैसे तो उसे शांति पसंद है, पर उसे अच्छा नहीं लगता जब मैं चुपचाप करता हूं उससे प्रेम निवेदन। वैसे तो उसे शांति पसंद है, पर उसे अच्छा नहीं लगता जब मैं चुपचाप करता हूं उससे प्रेम निवेदन।
Very nice.
This is one. The second is, चुप मत रहा करो, शोर किया करो, चुप मत रहा करो, शोर किया करो, तुम नहीं जानती कि तुम्हारे चुप रहने से उड़ जाती है बहुतों की नींद।
Very good.
And the last one is, तुम्हें शांति पसंद है, मुझे शोर। I mean, the next 2 lines you will understand if you keep this in mind. तुम्हें शांति पसंद है, मुझे शोर, मैं आंखों से करूंगा प्रेम निवेदन, क्योंकि तुम्हें शांति पसंद है। तुम्हें शांति पसंद है, मुझे शोर, मैं आंखों से करूंगा प्रेम निवेदन, तुम मुंह से हाँ करना। Thank you.
Yeah, this this reminds me of what Mahendra said. Silence speaks louder than sometimes. Excellent, Ukarji. Brilliant as usual.
Yeah, just to explain, this is a very small thing, but when I say तुम्हें शांति पसंद है, I'm correcting this with, I will speak with my eyes, but I like noise, so तुम मुंह से हाँ करना।
Right. Yes. Excellent. The subtleties of love poetry. That's important too. Yeah.
Saying a lot without saying a lot.
Yeah. But even that's what poetry. A lot of poetry
Right.
is about that.
Yes.
It says you want to say something, but if you write directly about it, that is prose.
True.
But you bring it
There
out.
has to be some subtleties, read between the lines and
Yes.
interpret it in
That's
your
right.
own way.
Put it in this, hit it in from the side, and you will enjoy the feelings. All right.
Sir, Osho says the same thing in his word. He says, if you cannot understand my silence, you'll not be able to understand my words.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Okay, Julian, you still with us? Hi, Julian.
Hi.
You want to take it away with something?
Yeah, sure. You mentioned a poem that you liked that you wanted me to read.
Yes, I did. And I saw it on Facebook recently. You have put in, it was the one which was published in a magazine.
Oh. Was it Shadow?
Hang on. I am just bringing up out your posts, and just a second. Okay, I can't get it immediately.
It's okay.
Was it the return?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to read that?
If you could, I think it was the return.
Yeah, I might be interrupted by fireworks again.
No, we can't hear it. I think it's louder at your end than at this end.
No, because I can't even hear myself when it goes off. So this is called The Return. The prompt was rebirth. So it's just me imagining what kind of rebirth I would have as an animal. Maybe if I came back as a dog, I'd be faithful, loyal, ever ready to please. I wouldn't bother about yesterday's or tomorrow's, only today, here and now, as I bark at your return. Shake my tail, lick your face, make a show of it. Your very presence, everything to me. Or I come back as an octopus then, wrap all 8 arms around you, tentacles suckered tight to your very being. I'd float both of us across the sandy surface of the sea, shoot inky camouflage so no one would see us as we dived into our secret hiding place. Or maybe I'd be an excited dolphin, kicking as you approach, following in your wake, flipping and corkscrewing under your surface, breaching in elation, leaping out and re-entering nose first again and again. Or maybe I'd be a migrating bird in a V formation with you just behind and to my side, sinking every wing beat to my down flap to uplift you, then fall back to let you lead, taking turns in an aerodynamic ballet to conserve energy in our long journey south. Or maybe I'd be a penguin, like the little blue ones we spotted in Oamaru, New Zealand, foraging from dawn to dusk, then returning under cover of night, greeting each other beak to beak, like the Maori hongi, pressing up noses, eyes shut, taking in each other's breath until our breathing synced. How they stood erect on shore, flippers akimbo, heads and necks cuddling, doing their returning dance in little circles, braying with joy, then pairing off to their individual burrows to lovingly, reliably regurgitate squid, sardines, anchovies, and krill to their young. Maybe I'll come back then just as a tiny krill, those many-legged shrimp-like crustaceans, transparent and luminescent in the dark, with no bark, nor bite, nor suckers attached, no annoying clicks trailing you from above or below, neither skulking and absent all day, nor expecting anything at day's end. I'll be happy playing my bit part at the bottom of the food chain, floating silently in swarms like pink clouds in the oceans, yet enough, always enough, of my kind to fill the bellies of whales.
Yeah, that was
Oh, very good.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Really great.
Love the imagery was so nice. And
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I could see it oscillating, between the animals. There was such a contrast. One is a hyper, then he goes down and then becomes calm, and in the last just gives up. Okay, I'll just be the one to be eaten. You know, it's like literally giving up on all the hopes. But, it was so nicely gradient and coming down with describing each animal with their proper characteristics and nuances. It was amazing, Julian. Really loved it.
Thank you.
Julian, don't go away, because I have dug up the one I really loved, which I thought I would read today. This was a filler. And that was explaining poetry to a 9-year-old. And I'm sure Onkar will love it, because it resounds almost the same way in the way it's structured, in the way it put forwards the ideas.
I got to read it in the two voices.
You got to read it in
the two voices in it.
Yes, there are two voices in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you want to do that? Or
you want me to do it now?
If you can. I think that there's a lovely poem which I thought if you could.
Okay. Okay. Explaining poetry to a 9-year-old. Poems are boring, you say. It puts me to sleep. Each of us is a poet, I say, even if you don't know it. Look at the moon. You could say the moon is a bright yellow balloon. But you say, it only reflects light, makes none of its own. The moon is not a balloon because it's airless and has no strings attached. Maybe that is why I say it is so consistent and why it will outlast humanity. It influences, but not in the way influencers do. It knows when to shine and when to disappear, and it's just near enough to affect us, but not too close to spin us out of orbit. So too poetry. But the moon has a dark side, you say, which it never shows us. Yeah, I say, we all have a dark side, and most people don't care to see it. It's only when it's on full display that we lose it. Some of us may empathize when you show it. Most of us may turn away. Dark sides matter, but it's your own private business, like the moon. Keep it to yourself. I get you, you say, but you write a lot of sad stuff. I do, I say. The sad stuff may come from my dark side, but it's art. And all art is poetry. And all poetry is a means to connect to our humanity, to life, to reflect the light in all of us. So the moon, you say, is a lot like us? Yes, I say. I love the moon, you say. I love the moon too, I say. There, did you see what we just did? We, you and me, just wrote a poem, and it didn't put us to sleep, and it wasn't boring. Now go write another. Can it be about the sun, you ask? Yes, I be. That's a good place to start. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed.
And you read it so well. I mean, even with closed eyes, you knew that Or was talking and you were replying.
Yeah, that's another thing our members have learned is how to perform poetry, rather than just say it out loud. And then you can see, but if you see earlier recordings and you see it now, you can see the difference.
Thanks to you, Rajiv. Thank you. You won't believe it. I don't even, I joined the group without, I wrote poetry when I was a kid. Like, the kinds, rhyming kinds. I have a little miss whom I don't like to miss, etc.
That's where we start.
And yeah. But then when he said, and I was never interested in poetry. But Rajiv is with Rajiv, it used to be he used to give a topic which means homework to do, and then you don't do your homework till when you have to come. Okay, just 2 more hours to go. Let me just write.
That
Otherwise,
gets your creative juices flowing literally.
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I realized, that if we have this poetry session on a regular basis, it, even if I'm not in the mood, it forces me to read poetry. And that immediately changes my mood. I immediately realize, oh wow, like, okay, I had enough of engineering, let's do something, more creative out here. Absolutely. Chalo, thanks a lot, Julian. I think that was wonderful 2 poems. I've been following you on Facebook, and I'm gonna post this particular poem on our group. I know you're not a member, so with your permission, on our thank you. Chalo, next, Gunika, you wanna go next? Have you got anything?
Okay. I have a couple, but I mean, like, one is in a lighter vein. I won't be reciting that. So I found something in my book from 2019,
Yeah.
Musings. And since we were talking about the sounds of silence, so this is about the sounds of silence. It is about a love triangle. So since we're talking couplets, love couplets, it's a love triangle, and it goes. The title of the poem is "The Sound of Silence." In darkness there is stillness. In stillness there is quietness. In quietness there is a sound, a sweet sound of silence. There is someone far away. In the darkness a shadow sways. There's a feeling of forgetfulness. You can sense a remoteness. You can see a light shining, but there's no longing, no pining. Then a ray of hope shines through. 2 large shadows begin to loom. When the prism of light falls upon and you look, one shadow's gone. It melts in the distance, far, far away. When you look again, it begins to sway. Now the sun is shining. There's longing and there's pining. It's joined in the light with another pretty sight. The shadows turn to reality. It's still far away to see. Hand in hand with another, it takes a new course further. The path to happiness is found. To its new love it is bound. Behind in the darkness, one shadow still stays. It tries to stir, but doesn't even sway. Its hopes have ended. Now there's nothing left to pray. It stands still and tense in the sweet sound of silence.
Very nice, very nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
Very nice. Good, I think you should post this one on the.
Yeah, so it was in my book. So I'm going to
I
take a
know.
screenshot, a PDF, and put it there.
Put it out there.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm revisiting my book after I don't know how many years because I've forgotten what I wrote. Write it and put it, and then you never go back to it. So
Yeah.
when topic comes, you realize, okay, I have written something on this.
Wow, you published a book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And-
Really? I don't know.
Yeah,
Wow,
I know.
great poetess we have here.
Thank you. This was a juvenile attempt.
But
Well, I'm a juvenile. Absolutely. What rubbish I write, I only know.
No, really. I mean, this was like kind of immature-ish. I progressed
No, it's
beyond this
beautiful.
now.
It's really good.
Thank you, everyone.
thanks. Chala, okay, good. Let's go. Who's next? Jasbir, you wanna go next?
Yes. While I was writing this, I wrote another one while I was writing. So it's again noise. In the dead of the night, a siren goes off. They can hear the noise of the buildings full of noisy people wailing out to each other, screams mingling with the gunshots and bombs, buildings coming down like a pack of cards, dust and smoke and sounds all around. Her babies, a little boy and girl, cling to their mother with eyes as wide as saucers. fear writ large on their faces. They almost push their way into a womb for safety. She holds them tenderly, swallowing her fright. With a brave smile, humming a hymn they know. In between, reassuring them to sleep off the horrendous noise. Everything will be okay. This too shall pass. Thank you.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah. Lovely. Lovely. Good, good. Thanks, Jasbir. I think that was lovely.
Great.
Good. Anything exciting from anybody else? Vinodji?
Yeah, I had the chance to now look at the book which you were referring,
Yeah.
and I searched for noise. There is no noise there, but there is silence. So there are three places he mentions. I just put those two lines. Once anger was just a frown, mere silence a reprimand, one made up with an exchange of smiles. That's how he used silence. The next one was, "Oh beauty, give up this silence. Look at me, I am at your feet." So that silence is also not acceptable. So the third reference was, "Carefully learn how not to laugh and to maintain silence. I even steered the mind to gain." So how if you smile at the laugh, it can be a problem. No? So those were three references from your book. Seems to be good, worth to buy, and they're pretty cheap on the Kindle.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Check it out. Okay. With that, I have the pleasure of reciting a poem from the American Poetry Review, which we get it through British Council subscription. So people who want to do the subscription is pretty cheap. Julian, if you want it from Malaysia, you can do it from Malaysia. I can pay Indian rupees and you can give me ringgit later on, but it is pretty cheap. So, but you get access to a lot of literature, including the American Poetry Review. So this one's called, okay, this is a tongue twister, omalophobia. Omalophobia is apparently the phobia of staring at one's, staring of navel gazing. So, omphalocapsis is navel gazing, and omphalophobia is the fear of navel gazing, looking at your own navel. Interesting, huh? Some days, all I think is that we were born into injury. An umbilical severance, our first wound. Blinking awake to a humid fog of pain and sleeplessness. No wonder babies cry. In yoga class, I pressed my stomach to the mat, an instructor urging me to find my center. While I recall the girl who cried when I tucked a knuckle all the way inside my belly button, gut swallowing the digit. My finger probed as if I could feel the organs underneath. Some people fear not like navels can unravel. Intestines unspooling. Such a secret place. A whole world populated by bacteria. An early mouth tethered to where you came from. In other ages, umbilical remnants were kept sacred. The last tie to parents, ancestors, home. I moved through the asana, my middle tightens, belly button flickering like an eye at a keyhole. The meditative practice of navel gazing. Omphalocapsis, was said to bring calm, grounding, celestial joys. I breathe harshly, my practice done. Treat yourselves tenderly, the teacher says. I wipe sweat from my brow, smoothen one palm down my torso to cup my navel, as if to protect the scar.
So interesting.
Yeah, this is something new. Never
mean-
heard of, a topic.
And what is the spelling? Can you give us this? What is it?
OMPHALO and then phobia. OMPHALO.
No. That is okay. The other one, what were you saying?
OMPHALO Capsis. KAPSIS. That's
Never heard of it. Today, that's
yes,
the
exactly. And it kind of interested me because
very interesting.
the navel is our first mouth. It is our first wound. And
Yeah, the way it has been projected in the poem, it gives a very pure kind of a form. But it's actually, if you think about it, it's pretty weird, navel gazing. But in yoga, you do breathing and you concentrate with your mind on the navel. I don't know exactly what he means by navel gazing here.
yeah, but navel gazing traditionally means you are so introverted that it actually becomes inaction. You can't take any action because you're so introverted. So that's how it's loosely
But
used.
different.
Yeah,
Something new.
a different usage of it.
Exactly.
Chalo, with that, we can wrap up today's session unless somebody has got something exciting to say. And it was a longer session than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's nearly 8:30.
Yes. So, hey, I'm trying to keep this up, keep up the pace. Second Saturday is virtual and last Saturday is in person. So let's see how.
Can I add a couple of lines for navel gazing in case you?
Sure. Go ahead.
Navel gazing, we have a Nabhi Kendra. So Nabhi Kendra is not the right word. The right word is available with the Japanese. They call it Tanden. So these all sumo pehlwan or sumo wrestlers, they always take food and they gaze at Tanden, which is around 3 to 4 inches below the navel. So that is called the samurai sleep. So when you gaze at that particular point, there are two ways of meditation which has been elaborated by Buddha. Either looking at your breath or at the navel. That's why this second point, which is called, the real name is Tanden. This navel gazing is very important for the deep sleep, the real meditative sleep, which in case somebody wants, I can explain it a little.
Okay.
So this is in context of yoga and meditation, but actually what I'm reading here is navel gazing is self-indulgent or excessive contemplation of oneself,
Well,
or a single issue at the expertise of a wider view.
Yeah. That is how it is loosely used.
Loosely used,
Yes,
kind of thing. Yeah.
Like that's what Rajiv said. It's introvert that introverted, and you can't take any action.
Looking inwards
Exactly.
and thereby
Considering your own thoughts
and thereby freezing your action. That's how it's used in one context, but the other contexts.
Exactly. That's good.
Okay, with that,
Okay.
I think let's end the session today.
All right.